At the end of chapter 5, we receive one of the most anticipated reunions, Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. These characters have been speculated to have had a connection, as Kissy was made to call him Huggy. Just as we got this reunion, it was ripped from us by the prototype, who once again proves that nothing good can happen in this factory. He stabbed Huggy from the back and then Kissy. They fall, and that's the last we see of them. Looking at the scene, it's truly hard to see them make a comeback. However, we don't have actual confirmation because, like, who comes back from this? Well, I think it would be these guys. Okay, so we're going to break this down into two categories, because the way Mob set this up, the possibility of them returning really could go either way, and they definitely did that on purpose. Let's start with their possible return. After we, the player, get electrocuted back to life by Giblet, he briefly talks about Kissy and what happened to her, not entirely confirming or denying her fate. Again, ambiguity, but realistically, how would Giblet know? He wasn't there. He was with us. Both characters have survived quite a bit, following stories, losing arms, being burned, so their endurance is definitely strong. But if they survive, they would still need help to recover. And on top of that, they would need to be able to hide from the prototype to remain safe, which is something I don't see bound to happen, considering the state they were left in. I think if they do survive, it would be through the prototype, if he decided to keep them alive. But why? Why would the prototype do that? Well, Kissy and Huggy are really strong, and he could experiment on them to quote-unquote fix them. But why fix? He didn't fix Catnap, and he didn't fix Mommy Longlegs. Why fix these two? Because they are the most obedient. Well, definitely Huggy. As we saw in chapter 5, he was conditioned for obedience, and we saw tapes reflecting on his obedience and his success as an experiment overall. I would say Kissy is not at the level of Huggy on obedience, but we don't get a lot of insight on her actual experimentation, other than this possible note about her anxiety. And from what we saw in chapter 5, Kissy was like a catalyst for Huggy in keeping him calm, literally being made to become his better half, just like their toy counterparts. Now, okay, this is a bit of a outlandish idea, but what if the prototype took them and combined them? They are a mirror of each other. Mixing the experiments and making them into a Frankenwuggy could be the path he takes. Having this powerhouse that is Huggy with the control of Kissy would probably make them more well balanced, and the prototype could have his own personal guard at an insane level. He'd probably use the same conditioning room we found Miss Gracie's tapes in, as it didn't look necessarily overrun, and according to some notes we found, it seemed as if he was actively using this room. And also, I believe the prototype has used this with Huggy many times, which is why he sent his hunters after him. He escaped prototype's reconditioning, bent on revenge. I know it's crazy, but the type of experiments the prototype has done, from the possible Cat-Bee hybrid Preston, from the ARG to the wrong side animals, I wouldn't put it past him to create this Huggy mix, taking these two halves and making them whole. This would make a powerful enemy for us, with a tinge of sadness, as it would contain part of our ally, but maybe we could turn the tide if we reached out to that part that was Kissy and instead have our ally back more powerful than ever. In terms of the story, this could be a really emotional arc for the characters and for us, the player. Seeing what the prototype did to our allies, and instead of permanently defeating them, we instead turn them back to our side, sort of breaking the big bad archetype they've been doing every chapter, something we couldn't do with Mommy Longlegs, Catnap, and Doughy the Doughman. It would definitely flip expectations. However, another thing that would flip expectations is if Huggy and Kissy did not come back, that they instead stayed gone. This event in the story, to me, solidified the prototype's point of no return. I think it truly showed that the prototype is evil and cannot be redeemed. I mean, I think many felt that there was a part of the prototype that was redeemable, as his actions were seen as a reaction to what was being done to him by Playtime Co., and really his existence as a whole. The prototype is a mirror of the evils of this miracle that is his and Poppy's existence. Killing the fan favorites definitely hyped up his defeat, cause tell me you didn't want a 1v1 with the prototype after he stabbed Kissy, cause I definitely did. And anyways, why did he do this? Well, Kissy is definitely explainable as she was working against him and they've been fighting since the end of chapter 3, if you believe that that was the prototype who attacked Kissy, which I do. But Huggy, I think this goes back to what I said earlier, but he couldn't recondition Huggy. He patched him up after chapter 1 and was unable to control him, making him no longer an asset. Or, as we've seen from the prototype, this was a punishment for failing to defeat us twice. Their deaths could raise the stakes. We'd be missing a powerful ally in Kissy and what could have been Huggy as well. But whether they survive or are truly gone, I really hope it fits the story well, as this would be Huggy's second is he or is he not alive cliffhanger, although his was a little bit different as we all really did believe he was gone after chapter 1. And this would be Kissy's third is she or is she not alive cliffhanger. So, make a decision, wrap it up, or keep the trope going. These guys just always return. Personally, I think they're going to be making a comeback as they are star players in the series as a whole, but what do you think? Will they come back? Do you want them to come back? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.